Hi everybody, I have a finger puppet tutorial to share with you today. I'm just going to show you some of the materials for this project, and also I'm going to compare for you the peg doll and the finger puppet. Both of these you can find at a Child's Dream as well as the rest of the supplies. Now I was about to start with this black yarn in order to make her hair, but my daughter said she wanted the hair curly, and so I thought, well, the only other way I know how to do that is by using this plied yarn, which I picked up at a Waldorf homeschool conference, so I apologize, I do not know where you can find it. I do know that it is wool and that it is finely plied together, which means unplying it is going to be a challenge. And I'm going to need quite a bit of it because the yarn is not that thick, and you can see how the black one is a lot thicker. So this is what you do. You get a little helper and you pull it apart while you try to keep it from breaking, because it will break. So I have a whole bunch of it here, and I've gone ahead and cut it down to size. Now I want to glue on the hair. Now because I'm not going to have a little hat or a cap or anything, I want to make sure that the hair looks really good right from the start. Because if you mess up on the hair, you could totally cover it with something else. But this time it's going to show through. And so I am putting the tips of the yarn into the glue and then folding it back over and then just kind of pressing it down lightly. So I got a little row up at the top, and now with the second row underneath, I don't have to be as careful. You can see I'm just kind of layering it in underneath that top layer. You only have to be kind of mindful for the top layer. You also don't want to use too much glue while you're doing this, because it will kind of mat down the rest of the hair, and you'll be able to see through it if you push on it. You'll see all the glue kind of clumped together. So that's what it's looking like so far, and my daughter really does like it. So this finger puppet's going to end up with curly, long, brown hair. And right now I'm going to work on the back side and then the other side. And this part, it doesn't matter how careful I am. I just want to make sure that I'm not using too much glue, because this layer is going to be covered by the layer on top. So I'm basically working through about 3 different sections: the right, the left, and the back. Now I'm going to have to stop this process multiple times to get more yarn, because this yarn, you can kind of see through it a little bit more. It's not as thick and as bushy as the worsted and the bulky weight of the Lamb's Pride yarn. So you're going to need quite a bit of it, but when you're done, it's not that thick compared to some of the other finger puppets that I've made. And you can see that complete list at the end of this video, because we've made quite a few in the last several years. So I'm gonna give her kind of like side long bangs in a way, and I just decided this on a whim because I had a bunch of extra yarn there that was kind of cut short. And now I've gotten most of the hair in place, and I want to work on the very top part. So right now she has an unusual pattern of hair, so you want to get that scalp covered up there. And again, I'm being really careful just to place the tip part of the yarn down and then fold it over so that you're not really seeing any raw edges, and also this will keep the yarn from fraying apart and just becoming messy. And then I just want to cover the front of her hair just a little bit with some of these extra scraps of yarn, just to cover up any extra pieces that might have shown through, and just to give her some more wispy bangs. And then the last thing I'm going to do is, I just had one more piece lying around, so I give her a little wispy bang on the side, the other side that is, and it's a little bit shorter than the rest of it. And then one of the last things that you can do, and actually I had done this earlier on in the process, and that's to give your finger puppet doll a little haircut once you get it all in place. Now I had given her a haircut a little bit earlier on because I was using those extra pieces for her bangs. And though this is the longest part of the whole process, after this everything comes together very fast and very easy. So I do tend to like to work on the hair first and then work on the rest of it. However, the hair does get in the way when you're trying to put the rest of the outfit together, so you may choose to do the outfit first. So my daughter is also picking the color, and she wanted red for the outfit. And I am not using a pattern. I just rolled the little finger puppet down over onto the felt to figure out where to cut it. And now I'm doing a lot of notches at the top part, and this is going to help glue it down underneath the head, right around the neckline, because you can see that for these finger puppets, the neck kind of is more narrow than the rest of the body, and it just fits better when you do these little notches in the felt first. Of course, I'm using my heat gun for this. My glue gun is like ideal in my opinion for this. It dries very quickly, or rather it cools very quickly, and so it makes keeping everything in place a lot easier than using a wet tacky glue that you have to wait for it to dry and things could shift around. However, once you glue this down, you kind of just have the one chance. So if you need multiple chances, then it's possible that a wet tacky glue would be better. My daughter wants that little rolling pin as a little accessory for this doll, and while I was pulling that out, I found this little remnant piece of felt, and I thought this would make a good pouch, and it makes almost a perfect size pouch, but it's not quite a good shape, so I'm going to glue it together a little bit later on, but at least the pouch allows that little rolling pin to be removable, which my daughter really wanted an accessory that was removable for this doll. So you can see that the rest of this process comes together a lot faster, a lot easier. The bulk of the time generally for me is used up in doing the hair, whatever it is, whether it's a hair with a little bandana or braids or just long curly hair, that tends to be the longest part. And if you want curly hair, then using plied yarn and unplying it is the way to go. Alright, so now she's got her little pouch with her little rolling pin, and the hair turned out really good. My daughter's really pleased with it, and it adds a little something special. So if you want to see our complete playlist for all of our finger puppets, you can definitely click on the screen right now and check it out. And of course, it's always fun to see the mess at the end of a project. And this is my son, who was working the same as I was and had a whole series of finger puppets done by the time I only made one. Alright, thanks for watching.